Hello and welcome to another episode of the Neverstraightanswer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joined from a remote, secret location somewhere in the remote wilderness of Glossop, you know him, is a Tsarichina Taylor.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening indeed. Welcome. Thanks for joining us on another week.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
New listeners and new repeat offenders from across the globe. Thank you.
Keep repeating.
God.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are all keeping safe and warm. Honestly, I can't believe how cold it's been this week.
Have you seen the wind last night?
It was like -4. It's been windy like that all day, to be honest, here, but it was like -4 yesterday morning when I woke up, and I was just like, what the hell is this? What fresh hell is this?
That's where you need a hot water bowl.
Yeah, man. Oh, big socks. Big socks is the key.
Big socks.
Right. I've got me big socks, but I've had to put bigger socks over the big socks. That's how cold it is. It's brass monkeys, I tell you that. But good news is we're on episode 119.
Yes.
How mental is that?
Beautiful.
Been doing this for a while now, haven't we? Getting pretty good at it.
Yeah. We're getting old in the industry now.
Well, we got a fantastic episode this week. Fantastic show. It's got an hole in it.
As it usually does.
Well, it's got a big hole, in fact. One of the world's most bizarre UFO mysteries ever. We'll be talking, of course, about the Talashima Hole. And I can't believe I said it right. Hey,
I can't believe you said it right the amount of times you haven't.
It's one big hole. The Tsarichina has become, if you've never heard about it, it's Bulgaria's Area 51.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I love this. It's it is a must listen, so make sure you stick around for that. Yeah, boy!
Yes!
It's a good show, man.
Of course.
But before we get into all that, what have you been up to this week, mate?
Me, funny enough, with talking about holes, I've been looking into a hole this week as well.
I bet you have. Why? What have you been looking into?
The hole at the top of the earth and at the bottom.
The hole at the...
Supposedly.
There's a hole at the bottom of my bucket.
Supposed to be... It all comes down to a couple of maps that was... or satellite photos that were taken from NASA earlier on in the space program there, where there was pictures of some kind of hole at the top of the surface of the planet.
Right.
And supposedly there's one at the bottom as well. And then obviously Captain Bird, the situation.
Yeah, I was watching
there.
actually something on, on Secure Team actually. He was talking about like a magnetic anomaly there at the bottom of the mantle. Or, and it could be something they would normally... In fact, we've talked about it on the show previous because it turned out to be a crater that was what scientists actually think could have been like one of the earliest impact craters ever on the planet. So, but what? So go on. What's this regarding? Is it the same thing or?
No. It's not the same thing. It's basically the stories and the telling of like pictures and stuff like that have come out and stated that there's a hole in the and like
there's a hole in my bucket. What, in the planet? Because we've talked about Admiral Byrd and like you say about like being chased off by these UFOs that came out of a hole center of the earth. Now it's funny you should mention this because tonight's episode, has got a bit of something relating actually.
Probably in it.
Well, there's a hole in it, like I say, but there's actually, we'll get into it a bit later on, but like I'll point it out when we get there. Other than that, what else? I mean, you've been looking into that. What else have you been up to this week?
Just working out.
He's been working out. He's been flexing those guns. How much can you bench? You've been working the mental about a pound.
A pound of grey area.
Pound of grey matter.
Yeah.
So you've been working out the mental muscles.
I've just been trying to work out like certain, things. You gotta sit back and take in the info and work it out yourself on what you've got, and just stuff like that basically, and little odd jobs to do here and there.
That's me this week. Really it's just flown by for me this week. I've just been mainly trying to do bits around the house, and it's just been so cold. I found it really difficult to get motivated. I found you go into hibernation mode, don't you? So I've been trying to go for walks, trying to get the blood pumping and all that, and it's been frosty and a little snowy. So a few walks have been nice.
Well, that's one thing I need to do more of, I think.
You should. Get yourself active, otherwise you just end up vegetating.
That's it.
Watched a really good, and I didn't, it was one of them where I seen it on Prime, watched a really good movie the other morning, and I woke up and I just thought, I fancy a movie. And it's, it's worth talking about, in fact. But it's a British superhero movie. Yeah. And I thought, I'll give it a watch, right? Because I assumed it was a comedy. It's got Catherine Tate in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's a British comedy. So I thought I'll stick it on. It's called Super Bob, right? And it's about a guy who gets struck by a comet. He gets magic powers or special superpowers, and he ends up being recruited by the MOD as a British superhero. But it's like, the guy he's a normal guy. He's from Peckham.
There.
But it's actually quite charming if you watch it. Yeah. Okay. Right.
There's action in it. There's a lot of action.
There's a bit of action. It's not like you think it. Like I say, it's not movie. A massive blockbuster effects movie, but it's a bit more kind of character arc on it. But it's nice. It was, like I say, it was a charming film. If you do get a chance, do check it out. Other than that, been making bits and pieces for the website and the YouTube channel, and we're appearing on the Superpod Podcast Festival in March. So I've just been having to think about what we're going to be doing for that. If anyone's got any ideas, send them over.
Yeah,
we've got to keep it clean though, people. Yeah, that's the only thing, isn't it? Other than that,
too clean. No?
Well, so chain connections this week. Moving on.
Yeah.
So thanks to everybody who played along at home. I don't think many got it this week. We had a few messages saying individual clothing items, specifically underpants. I don't know.
Underpants?
I don't know, but let's just hope that you've got some awesome clues for us this week. You know what I mean? What was it? In fact, pants, jumper, coat.
It was actually clothes.
Clothing in just general?
Yeah, clothing in just general.
There you go, you see. You were all right in one sense or the other. I couldn't commit and say people were right or not. You know what I mean? And say when these come back with underpants, I'm like, well, you're technically right, but can you be a bit more, specific?
Yeah.
And they were like, more specific than underpants? Who are you people? Well, we've got a bunch more clues. Well, so you've told us it was clothing. So we've got a bunch more clues that we're going to go through in this episode. So pay attention. And maybe you can join our previous winners in our Smarty Pants Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So the clues can be audio, cryptic, and visual, depending on how we feel. It depends on how much work we can be bothered putting in. But, you can guess what it is. You can sort of send us your answers, good or bad. We accept.
We accept them all.
We accept all bad answers are great. Without further ado, Taylor, what is our first clue?
Oh, wow. This could be a hard one this week. So get your thinking on.
Right, this could be an hard one, but pay attention. Yeah,
but pay attention. Yeah, it is 132 AU from the sun, which is
AU was gold
units. Which
astronomical units.
Yeah, so the distance between us and the sun, 132 times.
Bloody hell, this is an hard one, isn't it? So that it's far away. Then it's not anything local.
Oh yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's not a local thing.
So give us that again.
So it is 132 AUs from the sun.
And AUs
is an astronomical unit.
There you go. Well, we'll get more clues going on through the episode. Well, we've got an associated vendor who's our affiliate this week, which is TeePublic. Is the world's largest marketplace for independent creators to sell their work for the highest quality merchandise. TeePublic support independent artists, podcasters, streamers, and everyone in between. So if we're on there as well. That's another good reason for following the link. And,
that's the best reason.
Join up rather as a creator or just to do a bit of shopping. It's all high quality stuff. Get over to TeePublic.
Definitely. Well worth the cash.
Well worth the cash, especially if you're buying a Neverstraightanswer t-shirt over on TeePublic.
Yeah.
As well as other bits and pieces are available. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Well, we promised you a good topic this week, and I'm not going to disappoint you. It's been really nice having the guests on over the last couple of weeks, but it gives you a bit of time to do a bit of research on the upcoming shows, and you do get a bit of burnout as a podcaster, like constantly trying to source information, and it's nice to have those like moments where you can kind of go, right, I've got extra time on this one. I want to make it a good one, and I feel like we've got that this week. So, I mean, when you think of UFO stories, it's easy to jump straight into the Roswell incident, isn't it?
Yeah. Too many people go to Roswell straight away, and there's loads more.
I mean, it happened in the United States. I mean, no wonder since UFOs have been majority popularized there. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of places, whenever you think of UFO encounters, Independence Day, or any big budget movies, you always think of the United States, So,
but that's because of two reasons. One, because a lot of incidents there, and two, we highly believe that the government are covering it up.
Well, but this is the thing, though, because it can't be just the American government, and it makes me think that there must be sightings and UFO reports and incidents that happen worldwide, so it must be a secret on a global level. In terms of tonight's story, we're going to be talking about an incident that happened in a remote village in Talashima, which is somewhere in the region of Kostinbrod in Bulgaria. I hope I've said that correctly.
That's a mouthful, and that was a good...
Now there, to this day, there's a strange circular formation that almost looks a bit like a cave, right?
Okay.
To the unsuspecting eye, you could pass by it, you probably think nothing of it or even notice it, right? But this is a random patch of land that has got so much mystery involved in it, and it's pretty much ground zero for a whole strange cavalcade of stuff that happened afterwards, which made people start calling it the Bulgarian Area 51.
Okay.
So, if I've hopefully got your attention...
You got mine.
So they call it the Tsarichina Hole. The town of Talashima has become famous amongst paranormal community, especially in the early 90s, even when it made national news and was nicknamed, like I say, Bulgaria's Area 51, due to its famed Talashima Hole. Apparently, treasure hunting's really big in Bulgaria. Okay. It's considered a bit of a national pastime, and you can even get your hands on archaeological maps, and they're freely available in like most Bulgarian libraries and museums.
All right, so if you're into it, there's a good place to go.
Totally. I mean, treasure hunting in Bulgaria is like big
phenomenon itself.
But there's a lot of rules that are attached to it. Right. So most of these maps and archaeological dig sites, they're just kind of interesting places such as settlements or known graves. But for the past 100 years, treasure hunters have been told that, they've got to report any treasure they find to the government, especially if they find coins. Right, because you want to keep the history, written down in records.
Well, the thing
somewhere. Is, like I say, it's weird to me that it's like treasure is... I was looking into what the definition of treasure was, right? And the UK definition of treasure is brilliant. It's got to be over 300 years. It's got to have so much precious metals. It's got to be, it's got to have been found with at least 2 coins. Like to be considered treasure, right? So, there's all these stipulations, but over the past 100 years, Bulgaria's had this law that any treasure hoards found relating to coins must be kind of reported, right? And this is for 2 reasons, right?
Okay.
2 kings in Bulgaria's history have mislaid treasure, right? And I'm not just talking about a little bit of treasure. I'm talking about shit tons.
A massive treasure. I think it was the country's wealth was hidden.
Well, on a number of occasions, because like I say, I've got 2 kings here. There's King Shimon, who was reported to have hidden 100 tons of coins before a great battle with the Turks. And King Solomon, who had reported to have hidden his fortune near Tsarichina. Since it's not actually that far away from Bulgaria's kind of main capital city, it's about 30 kilometres away, right? So it's within the realms of getting it out and hidden somewhere. And the funny thing is, Talashima itself has actually got quite a regal name. I tried to do the research on it and to try and find out what it actually translates to. But it just kept coming up with.
No,
I couldn't really find it. So if anybody does know, and I'd be quite interested to find out what the significance is to the name of the town, because on a lot of the kind of research I was doing, it kind of cropped up that was an important indicator why this town was important and potentially was the site of this treasure being hidden. Okay, so like I say, a lot of careless kings putting a lot of treasure hid in hidey holes and never finding them. Right. And I mean, holes again. But like, so King Shashman's and King Samuel both have hoards that have never been rediscovered. Incidentally, one treasure was discovered. A team of archaeologists, Professor Nikolai Oshkarov, discovered 100 silver coins from the treasure of Velkoro Tarnova in the capital of the Second Bulgarian Kingdom. So they did find some of it, and they reckon that it does. I don't think it's the big related, though, is it? But I didn't think so, considering but like I say, loads of treasures have been found in the area, but not to the extent that was reported.
They've actually found it.
So
they haven't found a big amount, and it's like 200
it's a lot of dough. It's a lot of gold and a lot of coinage, hidden somewhere in Bulgaria. No wonder treasure hunting's a big pastime.
I'm thinking of taking up the hobby now myself.
Even if you had to go and hand it into the government, it's one of them, innit, where it's like you're still known for the guy who found the hoard, or whatever. You might get a finder's fee, I'm sure. If the government,
some of them getting taken away,
we'll go into this in a second, and we'll come back to this, right? Okay. Because a number of reports had come in about the area of Talashima. One from Prospector, who was connected, to the government as a bit of a kind of an expert geologist and knew about land. He'd been out and he'd kind of reported back to the government that Tsarichina could be a place of interest. But Baba Vanga, who's a known psychic and prophet, had also come up and said that she'd made predictions where the treasure could be discovered, and she claimed that Tsarichina was a good place to start looking. Right?
Okay.
So
the indications are that there's something there.
Yeah, well, this is it. A number of reports, and I mean, so much so that on the 6th of December 1990, the Bulgarian military moved into the region. And I mean, when they moved in, the whole place was literally swamped with the military. It's a big kind of move on the basis of a couple of people, one of which was a medium, who, I mean, Baba Vanga, she's a kind of she's been right. So would it be worth looking into? And obviously you've got this, I'm assuming, government official who works for them doing a bit of kind of land management or prospecting. He's saying it as well.
I want to know then why they haven't found them. Have they found them to this day? Not found them to this day.
The treasure?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into this in a minute.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Right. Because, I mean, there's a reason why these guys turned up on this base or on this field. Just an unsurprising patch of field in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of Bulgaria, right?
What needs investigating?
The whole place was swamped with military, like I say, and they began excavation of the site. The project was said to cost of upwards of $9 million US.
Whoa, that's not...
Now that's a lot of dough to be throwing in, right, on a hunch or a couple of reports from,
What year was this, did you say?
This was in 1990.
1990, and the Baltic Wars had just been over, so there wouldn't have been a lot of money going around as well. So
to spend that much money on an excavation site, they must have thought that there was definitely something there, really. Yeah. Am I wrong?
No.
Right.
There's definitely that's a waste of money. But then again, it depends who's in charge, because they might be the ones who go like, oh, I don't care about how much I spend, you know what I mean? But I would have thought after the war, and trying to get the countries as their economy back up again.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why it was it was a bit of a risky move, investing that much money, but for the return, if they did find it, then it's one of them, innit? It's like, if it's worth more than $9 million, then
it's
exactly
the country wants.
Well, supposedly the operation was called Operation Lightbeam, but I've also seen reports saying it was called Operation Shining Ray, and even seeing the term Operation Sunray. So it's a bit of a kind of an recurring theme, but again, is this stuff that's lost in translation and just the way that people have kind of relayed the story. So whatever you want to call it, the operation of this magnitude costing so much money, there must be a bloody good reason, right?
Yeah.
I would have thought that there would have been some ultimate goal, that there was something of high value or worth digging for, right?
Yeah.
Whatever was going on, it was top secret. There was armed men checking security, turning away trespassers, and they basically were really harsh with people in the local town. And these were people who've lived there their whole lives, just a bit interested to see what was going on. And this place is just crawling with military, so it's like
no information.
Yeah, exactly.
All the places being covered, and you're not allowed in certain areas. What's going on? Yeah.
Well, the rumours at the time were that they were looking for ancient treasure, and it was said to be buried here. But the purpose of hiding treasure, I think it was King Samuel's treasure in particular. However, according to the stories that would eventually leak out, they found something a bit more bizarre.
So it was a bit more than just treasure they were spotted or found.
So they started digging. They were digging through soil and granite and normal earthy sort of stuff. They got to about the 6 metre mark, and they found that the soil and granite had passed, and they found that they'd hit a smooth surface, right?
A smooth surface?
Yeah, so it was like kind of like a built man-made structure underneath the field, right? So they were a bit perplexed by this. They break through, and they find a passageway, and they're like, this is weird. So like they start digging at the end of the passageway, right? And it's like a spiral staircase, and it's just getting more bizarre and more bizarre. The passageway turns into a spiral staircase, which takes them deeper and deeper underground in a spiraling staircase motion. So but they're heading down and they're going deeper and deeper. It gets to about but obviously the clearing earth as well. So this staircase wasn't just there. I mean, they had to kind of uncover it and go.
Right. So whatever they went into,
it was buried
inside.
Yeah, it was buried up. It was covered up. Yeah, right. So they get to about a depth of 12 meters. And that's where they first make the first discovery. I mean, this is the thing though, because it's like in all of these stories where they do a bit of digging and they're like they get to a certain depth, they always find a stone tablet. Do you not think they did? It's always a stone tablet
to make them turn back if they can.
Well, this is what I mean. It's a warning stone, isn't it? Right.
I would imagine.
Now there was one apparently in Oak Island, like I say, in the money pit, which was supposedly a warning, which was covered in strange texts or hieroglyphs.
Yeah, it was earlier on, wasn't it, that they found that?
Well, exactly, and this is the very similar thing. So they found a stone tablet, much in the same way.
Really?
Yeah, it was covered in text and strange hieroglyphs that no sod could understand. It was kind of a bit bizarre, So at this point, they've called up Baba Vangar and said, is there any chance you could come and have a look at it, maybe kind of get a bit of a feeling about it, or have you ever seen anything like this? And she had a message for him. Basically, Vanguard said it was a warning, and it claimed that there was more than just it was more than just a warning. It was a warning that if you were to disturb what was going on under the ground, that there would be a biohazard that would affect all human life. And she said, dig no further.
Right.
So the Bulgarian government obviously took a bit of notice because, but they carried on regardless and continued digging. The tunnel length grew, turned to about 180 metres, and the workmen apparently said that they got to the mark of 190 metres and they couldn't go any further. They'd arrived at a seal. It was blocking the path, and it was a huge stone slab with a round concave centre. They didn't know what to make of this. Yeah, right. It's like every obstacle they're getting past it, and it's like next thing, and it's like they come to a massive big stone slab. I mean, I'd be like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Obviously, whatever was buried here, they didn't want me to get to, I'd be out. I'm out. I'll be Duncan Ballantyne in it.
Makes me think of the KGB files, where there's Project ISIS, where in the early years they went into Egypt, and the Russian government at the time found a chamber with a supposedly, which it was supposedly filmed as well, and I've seen the footage of an alien that was dead in the casket. Now, that alien looks exactly the same as two that was supposed to have been found on the moon off another mission years later with the Americans, but exactly the same kind of thing happened. Was there was they found that there was a hole underneath, about 16 feet underneath, and it was a big wide gap. Now there was something like that on top with like like symbols and that, and they questioned, should they actually dig any further, or should they not?
Well, what same person would?
Choice of not. They turned around and went, well, we don't know what's under there. We've just found an alien.
You've just found. I'd be thinking this is way bizarre. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
we've just arrived at this field. We've been told to dig. I mean, this. I'm talking from. I'm a stormtrooper now. I'm just a guy who's working there. Yeah, I've got no agenda. I've got no kind of reason apart from I'm just following orders, and I've been told to dig here. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
As I was progressing down to that 190 mark, and then I kept finding these obstacles and, like I say, getting past them, and then I got to this wall, which was obviously put there, for a reason. Yeah, right. Yeah. You might not have been privy. You might not have been privy to this information that Baba Vanga's told them it's a warning and there's a biohazard and all the rest of it. And I wouldn't try. Yeah, you just go right. Day 15, we're making progress. That's it. But, these guys, they ended up taking sledgehammers to the stone. They broke through. They tried to get through with hand tools, and eventually they did. And what they discovered on the other side it's basically, you might find a bit unbelievable.
Go on. Yeah. I don't know. We live in an age of different things at the minute, don't we, really?
Well, that's true, actually. Well... So,
go on, what did you find?
On the other side of the stone, they discovered a chamber, right? So the walls were apparently smooth as glass, right? And the floor looked to be made of silver. Now,
made of silver?
Yeah, like a reflective silver material, right?
Right, okay.
So, now, the weird thing was that they couldn't go into the room. They could see it. They could see the chamber, but they couldn't go beyond. They couldn't pass the threshold. Reports even suggested that there was an invisible wall stopping them. Yeah.
Okay.
And when they say stopping them, I mean violently stopping them. There was some reports of men being thrown and launched backwards, landing on the ground. According to leaked information from a Colonel Tavasco Canvio, the group dug down the strange spiral tunnel. They found the mysterious rectangle slab made of an unknown material that was never identified. And soon after, a psychic woman who was allegedly brought to the excavation site said she seemed to have the gift of foresight, and she could see exactly what was deep inside in the tunnel.
But she didn't specify. She just warned them off.
Well, no, this wasn't Baba Vanga. This was another psychic, right?
Oh, right. So now we've had two.
This is it. This was I think she was called Eliza Loganova. Yeah. I think her name's pronounced a bit different, but she told the military that the stone slab they'd found was a bioshield slab, right? And that it was covered in dangerous bacteria and should not be touched. Yeah, right?
Okay.
She also told them that there was a skeleton in the tunnel that was neither male or female, right? And it was at the far end of the room. There was a large door that could be seen, but you couldn't get to. And there was more hieroglyphs, even some of them depicting giants.
giants.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
Oh, yeah, I like that. That's a nice little twist.
So Baba actually also claimed the same thing, that there was the first human that was created by visitors from the stars who genetically modified life and created life on Earth. She also noted that that it couldn't be destroyed or harmed, and to make it angry would be dangerous for all human life. Right?
Okay. Oh, yeah. I could see that with. I'm thinking the Sumerian tablets on explaining on like the Anunnaki were exactly friendly because we were supposed to be the slaves. It was only one of them that turned around and decided to give us a bit of knowledge and a bit of their DNA.
Well, Baba Vanga actually came out and said a lot more. She said when excavations were carried out at Talashima, the aliens told her that the research should be stopped. Don't dig. It's not your time. There's a center of the Earth at a depth of 2,000 kilometers, and they're crystals. One is big. It's like the sun. Do not touch. People will not reach it, but they will try to disturb it and disturb the atmosphere. It's a large crystal that is dangerous and will remain there as long as the Earth exists. It controls the Earth's movement. Stop digging, because otherwise the Earth will die. Hard days will come to your people. There are many new terrible diseases if you dig at Tsarichina. Yeah? So,
I could...
You know what I mean? I think that's quite a stark warning.
Know what is under us.
There's a bit more to it, actually. She said there's hell in the hole, but it's not hell. There's people living there, but their origins are different. There are also space devices. It was sent by an extraterrestrial civilization, right? So she claims that an extraterrestrial civilization living down there,
Lizard people.
Well, we've talked about Hollow Earth, and we've talked about kind of like all the different theories that go to it, but isn't this a bit bizarre? What are your thoughts on this?
There as well that connect to other things as well, which I like, which gives it more prominence to me on certain levels.
There's astronauts down there thousands of years ago. When your countries didn't even exist, a civilization from another planet sent starships with 3 astronauts to Earth. They were not people but robots.
Oh, all right. Wow. Okay.
So,
well, yes.
Could they be robots or drone?
Well, look how we're doing with the technology now.
Well, that's true, actually. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
And the robots would be doing a lot of stuff of what.
Like the Jetsons. I get myself a robot made or something in Rocky 3.
What would we do if we found an actual planet? We'd conquer the fucker. Well, but then we can conquer it in different ways.
Well, I'm not sure what it was that, if the government would take any warnings like that as legit, but something happened and something changed their minds and basically shook the Belgian government enough to pull the plug on a $9 million project. Or did they? Well, it was a 2-year project because in November 19th, 1992, they basically made the order to fill the tunnel in. Not just with soil and backfill that originally came out of the ground, with tons of concrete right from the bottom to the top. So whatever it was, they decided they were going to
need an extra layer,
keep it hidden, and nobody actually knows what the military found there in this underground mission, and why it stopped abruptly. But there was different theories about the Talashima Hole secrets. Might yet to be revealed. None of the participants really ever, wanted to talk about it or the time they spent there at this bizarre place. But a number of locals and foreigners investigators report that the town had become a bit of a hotspot for UFOs, especially whilst the excavation was going on. Also, they claim to have been hit.
1992?
Yeah.
Because the best picture ever seen of a triangle TR3B.
Oh, yeah, you were saying earlier,
is Belgium, and I think that was 1992. It was either 1992 or 1993 that the picture, and it still stands to this day, one of the best photographs of a spacecraft that we've ever had. It's such an iconic photo.
It was a hot spot around there in the eastern bloc, all down the Eastern Europe. But like, here's a bit of extra thing for you. About 10 years later, an unknown ET apparently spoke in human language for the first time, thanks to cognitive therapy. So apparently, this is just some random Gubbins article that I found, but I just thought it was really bizarre, right? Okay. Because a 28-year-old Russian man from Bulgaria, whilst in therapy, wrote 8 big notebooks with hieroglyphs, apparently dictated by aliens from Tsarichina, right? They introduced themselves as Adron, Samuel, Nestra, and Vanessa, and they were from the planet I can't even pronounce that. Yeah, from a distant planet. Yeah, right.
Yeah, far away.
Which has exploded. They claim that they've been living on Earth for the past 15,000 years or 150,000 years, and that they were living. They were here before any living microorganism were here. They were 7 of them originally, but one of them is died and buried at Talashima, and the others are living in rather Tibet. 4 of them are living underground in tunnels that they dug themselves and have remained hidden, and hidden their starships.
Okay.
So what do you reckon? Do you reckon there's something to this? And why would you spend all this money just to dig a hole and then fill it up with concrete? I mean, nobody will speak about it. Do you not think it's bizarre? Because I remember when I was telling you about like wanting to cover this, you were saying that there was another story that was kind of similar.
The Project ISIS from the KGB files in the 90s when the Soviet Union collapsed. You could literally walk in there. You could get biological weapons by ease, quite easily.
I'll get on the phone.
It was that.
All right, mate.
There's
plenty anthrax.
You could get all documents. It didn't matter, and that's where the black market was like massive, and that's where like the mob extended themselves to be like a force to be reckoned with. But there was a couple of incidents that reminded me that Egypt one where they found the tunnel and that, and there was something underneath that pulled that, and like,
well, it's just amazing how
just makes me think, is there anything above there that they just didn't find?
It just does seem to be a lot of mystery about the centre of the earth, and it really impresses me how kind of a treasure hunt can go from being just that, a treasure hunt, into fucking full-blown ET UFO mystery. Where
I'd like to know if they can do it now. Can they still go and look in that area today, or have they been
probably? I mean, like I say, you can walk past it and you wouldn't know anything had gone on there, but it's like, and you probably wouldn't have a clue unless you knew what was going on. But
I like, built a building on it.
There's a lot more kind of to it in terms of like what the military personnel were experiencing while they were down in that hole. Any biological entities discovered? Did anyone come down sick?
Did anything get brought up?
Exactly. And I mean, in terms of like a reason for closing it down, that would be a big one. It's if you can't get past this fucking invisible wall that's blocking your path, or you got past the invisible wall and all you guys died, and it was like shit. Out now, fill it up.
But then by then you've opened the Pandora's box.
Exactly.
Theory, and the same words were used about this hole under this whatever object, big hole underneath this burial site was. But it was just.
Will we ever know? Will we ever know?
Connection
I love that about the links to the Hollow Earth and how these are big crystal. Now. These people saying about the Brothers of the Black Star and all the rest of it, who believe that there's another sun inside the planet. Now, could that be some sort of
But then there'd have to be a crystal.
It's like a kyber crystal.
I'd imagine.
One big crystal. Well, she says it, doesn't she? She says there's few there, but don't touch them. Don't touch them.
Yeah,
what do you guys think at home? I find it fascinating. If you've heard this story before and we've missed anything out, you let me know, because I've had a look. And he's
go and have a look yourselves and check out more information.
Well, this is the thing, you see, because he's not very much information. He's not. That's the thing, right? In researching this, it was a lot of the videos that I was coming across and a lot of the information was in fucking Bulgarian for a start, or in Russian, and I couldn't understand it. And then it was like the bits that I were finding were you know, you had to dig to find the info. So, but I mean, like, I hope you've enjoyed it. Plus, I think it's just a really cool story. I mean, I love to think that there's more. I'd like to look more buried. Into it, to be honest, I'm a big treasure hunter guy. I like this treasure hunting stuff. Obviously, like, you know, but like
treasure hunters find stuff.
No, but this is it. Is it sometimes are they going to find more than they bargain for? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but
and this is what I'm kind of like so invested in Oak Island for, because you know there is obviously some effort been put into hiding something. Yeah. And this is what kind of allures me about the Talashima Hole, or the, I forget how to say it, so
Tsarichina.
Yeah. So the Tsarichina Hole, you know, that's what kind of you know, intrigues me about it, because it was obviously an event that happened, that has been covered up, and covered up in a way that is effort. There's a lot of manpower, a lot of time, a lot of money invested into hiding something. I
like the fact that there was a lot of things going on at that time, and there was a lot of evidence that was coming out at that time, and there was a lot of ways of getting evidence as well. So it's a really, I'm going to look more into this myself.
Let me know. Let us know what you find out. And
really interesting.
There you go. Well, thank you for listening to that. We've got much more coming up in the show, so stick around.
Ooh, yeah.
Firstly, I believe you've got another clue for us, haven't you, Mr. T?
I believe I have.
If you're paying attention in Chain Connections, Mr. Taylor's got another clue for you.
I have, and the clue is this object has a nickname. And its nickname is Far. No, it's not away.
I was going to say
Far Out.
Far out, man.
Far out.
It's far out, man.
Far out.
It was like totally trippy, man. Well, there you go. It's got a nickname, and it's called Far Out.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's far out as well by the distance.
Yay.
132 AUs.
That's far.
That is far.
I just go by that Monty Python song. Do you know, like, remember what you're standing on a planet? It's just like, you know, and it's got all the calculations in it, so it's like awesome. Anyway,
I reckon they'd be wrong now.
Probably. They probably are wrong, to be honest. You know, I'm not disputing his knowledge of stars and whatnot, but he's a comedian first of all, isn't he? So I suppose.
Yes.
Anyway, right, moving on. We've been looking over the world's news and headlines to find you all the weirdest, bizarrest news that we can find. And here it is. Here's the news. It's the news! Oh yeah, there's a shuffling of papers going on because we've got the news for you. And honestly, this week has just been one of the bonkersest weeks for anything. Do you know what? What has everyone been? Is there something in the water this week?
I think there's something in the air.
I think the love is in the air. It's a Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Taylor.
Happy Valentine's. Yeah.
As recording this today, it is actually Valentine's Day. Did you get any cards? Any admirers? No secret parcels delivered?
No, that'd probably end up tomorrow.
I got a message. I got a message off my mum.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Cheers, Mum. Happy Valentine's Day, Mum. Yeah. Well, I found this story, right? It's a bit of a sciencey story, and I thought it was cool. Yeah, right?
Go for it.
Now, you know, we talked about magnetic fields and stuff like that, right? And we always put it in the grander scheme of things like, but everything has a magnetic field, I assume. Do you reckon?
Well,
I always thought a magnetic field was like, you know, the bigger your mass, the more gravity field you have, right?
The field has to be,
In a weird twist, scientists have discovered that Venus flytraps generate a tiny little magnetic field.
Right, see.
You can plug your fucking phone in. No, they're not that good, right? Well, Venus flytraps, apparently, are not already fascinating enough. The plant's basically been looked over by scientists who've discovered something amazing about it. So apparently it generates a measurable magnetic field as it snaps its leaf shut.
As the force.
As it's doing it, it goes, and then it generates a little... But is that like, that's cool. Is that another little defense mechanism, do you think? Like a little EMP? Like, you know, to a little stun thing to kind of like, you know, bamboozle its prey as it's trapping it.
Like a stun.
Yeah, like a little EMP. I don't know.
Well, well, if you think about it, after it's grabbed the object, like, say, a fly, then it needs to, the fly's going to be wriggling around like fuck, and it would want to get as tight as possible. So if you can give it a little shock wave, and to move it, you know, sideways so it can't stand on its legs, to give it support, I suppose you could clamp on more and just sit there and, like,
well, the scientists are saying that it's a lot to do with how the plant uses magnetic fields in signalling and communicating.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, like, you know, it's known to be used in, you know, like humans and other animals, but, you know, like something to do with, like, you know, the electrical signals in the nervous system. So it's weird that they've... Do you know, it's funny, though, because, do you know, when people say about... How do you mean?
Well, you've got that rock, isn't it? There's a fella who found in the place of Roswell. Where
is it just a little rock that generates a magnetic field?
Yeah, but it's got symbolism on it as well, and they checked it out, and it has the North and South Pole on it. Yeah, it really does, and it's like, whoa, what's
maybe it's a planet. Maybe it's just a little planet that, you know...
Yeah, it's a galaxy within, like, a small mass.
Like Man in Black. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, you know, obviously it's a measurable little signal, but it kind of makes me think, because, like, obviously they go on about fish and plants not having any feelings and stuff like that, and it's like, I think this life, mate, if it's living, I think it's obviously got some sort of communicational function or some in some capacity, even if it's just genetic. You know what I mean? It must have.
Well, yeah, but as like, we don't see it in that kind of form, because if we did, we wouldn't do a lot of things.
Well, actually, it's funny you should mention that. Actually, we were talking about this because I found this other story as well, right, about fungus, and
yes,
these actually create genes to be more like the neighbours and friends, you know, like in the woodland and stuff like that, right? So they actually change their genetics in order to, you know, to kind of blend in, I suppose, and be kind of but they take on like characteristics of other plant life, so they kind of can settle into the ecosystem and not be kind of hassled by anything else, I suppose. It's a bit kind of weird, that. Isn't biology fucking... Ain't nature scary?
Well, nature's a bitch if you fuck with her. And she's proven it time and again.
Have you seen anything in the news this week? Go for it, you. Go on, if you've got something to say on that.
Yeah, I was watching something not that long ago, actually, and it just showed... It showed, actually, in a forest, how a forest could not survive without it.
I said
it's so diverse. And
we come from mushrooms. We're all mushrooms. You're a mushroom, man. You're like fucking toadstool. Well, I mean, I think like it's a bit of a funny one, this one, right? And I mentioned this in a little video we made about how antibiotics work for us. They're fungus, and you know, if you think about kind of. We all say in evolution we originated from monkeys, but I mean, even going further back than that to the primordial soup, you've got to think that spores played a big part in that, in all life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, carried on the breeze and all that, spreading about. So I think there's more to do with fungus and mushrooms and that type of thing linked to us than we give credit for. That's why. That's why you can't find a good fucking fungus cream, but you can get a good fucking... but your antibiotics work. Yeah. So I'm told. I don't use them, personally. But, they tell you not to use much antibiotics these days as well, because you don't want to...
If they change your plant by touching it and going near it, then, like I said, we were hairy in the past, and it could be easily...
You're still hairy now, what you're on about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
I don't deny.
Have you seen anything? Have you seen anything else in the news, beastly boy?
Have I seen? Yeah, actually, there's been a bit of a backlash to the BBC again.
Another one. Go on.
Another one, because an 87-year-old man was told he wasn't blind enough to get a free license.
What?
Seriously?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, right? That's appalling. I've got a couple of appalling stories tonight, but that's up there. Yeah,
like 750,000 pensioners have told basically to fuck off.
Yeah, good on you. It's going
to go up in April again as well. Instead of it being 150,
just say no, man. Just be like Samo, a BBC proper, and say no.
But they say it's value for money. It's 43p a day.
Right, yeah, right.
Like,
Is it value for money when there's not very much? Right, I appreciate that the service is there for the news, right, and whatever, right, but, like, it's not appealing to me as somebody who wants the service, right, and the fact is, if it doesn't appeal to me, I shouldn't be forced to pay for it. Now, you might say it's value for money. I might say fucking crack cocaine's value for money. Yeah, right. Doesn't mean you should go out and buy it, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's true.
At the end of the day, a service is a service if you want it, right? Yeah. Now, you can't justify it by saying it's value for money, because it's value for money. It's only worth as much as you're willing to pay for it, and I ain't willing to pay for it, and a lot of people aren't, because there's not much on it that interests me.
Well, the CEO, the guy who's running it, the Thingy General.
Big Daddy Beeb.
Yeah, right. Well, there's a new one in there, and he has actually turned around and told them there's going to be a lot of changes here. He's actually having a meeting with the government this week about
it's not a government program. It's not a government theme. Scheme, is it? It's a government.
No, but we pay for it as well.
Yeah, well, in that case, right, it should be included in your taxes, and it's not, because if it was a government subsidised thing, then it would already be included in our taxes. But they don't. They say it's a corporation. We're separate, but they've got this an alliance. Yeah, right. When it's one of those things.
Back.
Exactly. Basically. So at the end of the day, right. I mean, we're in a digital age. If you don't want it, you should be able to turn it off. End of.
Yeah. That's the whole argument. Hold on, you are throwing something out.
Can't force things on people. I do not
want. I can use it though, because you're throwing it out. Secure that, let the other ones stay.
Exactly, that's their problem. The problem is in their security, because at the end of the day, Sky TV or any of the other cable providers or Netflix or anything like that require a secure login, and if I can't get in and I don't have an account, then I don't watch their services. End of.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't believe we're still living in and we're still having the same argument anyway.
But there's another thing with this. I counteract it on something here. That means that if I don't have a license, I can't look at the BBC 24-hour news to find out what my Prime Minister has told the rest of the world
exactly.
on what to do about this
That's
pandemic.
what I'm saying.
So now it's come a health and safety issue.
What that you need to have the BBC.
Yeah, so I watch the BBC News, let's say at 5 o'clock, watching Boris standing there chirping.
Well, no, because I see it on YouTube. And they choose to put it on YouTube for free, so that's not my fault.
That's another thing, though. They say YouTube and all them other places, you need a license for them. No, you don't, actually. It's just BBC One, BBC Two, and live.
Yeah, in fact, it's any live broadcast, right? Yeah, and considering that BBC very rarely put out true live broadcasts, it's a bit unfair to say.
Repeat offenders they are all the time.
Definitely.
They repeat everything.
Well, no, even on a live broadcast, there's still a delay. And I mean, you want to argue what's live. Is it happening in real time? Then whatever.
And what's the difference? Why am I paying it live to it being actually made?
Let's not go down. You're getting me angry.
Yeah,
right?
they're arseholes. Right. Let's just agree with that.
So, I found this story. Yeah.
All right.
About video calls. Yeah, it's a new age, innit? Everyone's on fucking Zoom meetings and all the rest of it. Yeah. Well, a new trend has cropped up. British farmers are employing goats to make appearances in virtual Zoom meetings.
What?
Well, it was nobody knew that a mere joke suggested by a British farmer to rent a goat for a video chat would become the latest trend. But as the pandemic's grown and people have got a bit more a bit mental, trapped in their houses, it's become a trend. Yeah, so farmers have been renting out the goats to. He's turned it into a full-time business, receiving about 200 emails.
What the?
To have a goat join them in a meeting.
That's so much. That's so much. Talking about meetings like that, did you see that about the two lawyers and the judge?
No.
Having a Zoom meeting. Well, one of the solicitors, he couldn't get to his computer, so he went to his secretary's computer to do the live talk. Yeah, and when he was on there, she had a meme of a pussycat on the front talking in front, and he couldn't move it. He couldn't get rid of it. Could not get rid of it, so he was going in front of the judge going like, what I talk to you like this? No, sorry.
Well, this is the dangers, isn't it? It's like you just have to deal with it. Well, if you want
fashions like this coming up.
You want to actually get your goat, we might try and get the goat in our next episode. In fact,
we used to have a goat at the end, didn't we?
We still do. Yeah, the goat still is there. The goat is still at the end. But yeah, if you want a goat in your episode or anything like that, you can get onto it for £5. Yeah, make an appearance. £5 to make an appearance. That's it. Yeah, to make an appearance. McCarthy has a farm staff assisting the setup of the virtual meetings. So yeah, they've got it all under control. So I think we might try and get them in.
I think we got to do this. I think we got to do this one time.
Yeah, we'll get them on.
Yeah,
we'll email him. Taylor's in charge of booking guests, so write it down.
Yeah, give me the address.
McCarthy's farm. Get on it.
Yeah.
Right, and next week we might have, not next week, but sometime
in a couple of weeks
future.
We might have a special guest,
special guilty guest. Just fucking shut up, shut that goat up. Right. Anything else you've seen in the news this week, sir?
Yes, I have seen.
Oh, mate. Oh, go for it. Yeah, I've just remembered this story that I was about to... No, you go for it.
You sure?
Yeah, it's too shocking.
Okay. Not as shocking as this.
I bet it is.
Viral video is going around Australia at the minute, North Queensland.
Right.
Of a giant crocodile eating a shark.
Fuck off.
Seriously,
a crocodile eating a shark?
Yeah.
And then a bear came along and ate the crocodile.
And it come out the sea
and
to get this shark. It was a 13-footer, and it looked like a beast, mate. Proper.
I reckon that would be more shocking to see, in the real world. Yeah, definitely. It is a shocker.
Oh, this was the real world, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you were comparing stories a second ago when I was saying I found a story here. Yeah, and it's a shocker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
yes. Go on then.
I do agree that a shark-eating tiger, a shark-eating crocodile, is not fucking amazing enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. A fucking crocodile eating... No, in fact, a tiger eating... A crocodile eating tiger would have been better if it came along afterwards.
Crocodile eating a tiger?
So, yeah, the shark got ate by the crocodile. The tiger ate the crocodile. You know, it's like that old woman who swallowed a fly all over again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Perhaps she'll die. Check this out, right? And this is no fucking joke, right? And I was appalled when I heard this story. A doctor... in Punjab, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Jaw hit the jaw. Right. According to the police, right, a poverty-stricken woman who gave birth to a baby boy in a private hospital, a few days ago, the couple were unable to clear the medical bills, and the doctor allegedly asked the couple to sell their newborn to settle the bill.
Oh shit! And did they?
What? Oh no, the doctor basically forcefully snatched the newborn from the couple and sold the infant to a man.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So later, the couple approached the police and lodged a complaint against the doctor. They took swift action on the report, and the police basically conducted a raid on the hospital and apprehended the doctor. The hospital administrators were basically like, fucking, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah, right.
Shocked over his actions.
Yeah, obviously that's as much as we got on the story as is. But what the hell?
That's fucked up.
How? This is what I was saying earlier about why I think there's something in the water this week, because that is just
a lot of strange shit going on.
Now, it's a bit of an odd position to be in, isn't it, I suppose, as a doctor in a hospital, and you've got kind of like a hospital to run, and
yeah, but you don't sell babies.
You send them the bill, don't you, and you just say, well, you're going to have to deal with it.
Pay it over time, you're going to have to, if you can't pay it up front.
Poverty-stricken, but at the end of the day, you can't take what I ain't got,
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But in this case, you can,
Yeah.
And it's
brand new item, I'll take that, thank you.
I mean, in this day and age, what should be going... This guy should be fucking... Not only should he be stripped of his doctor, his robes, his gowns or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But
not only that, the people who bought the baby.
I know. Yeah, well, just sold it to a man. What, a man down the pub?
Street, what's he going to do with it?
Exactly. This is the thing. This is the thing, isn't it? Well. And I mean, it's just appalling. What do you reckon, man?
Yeah. I think it's sick, man. I think the guy needs neuting.
Yeah, I think he needs fucking taken out. I think anybody who's in a position...
No, I think he needs to be sat in a chair and tortured for a good time with the parents.
Tortured for a good time.
Yeah, if you need extra blood, give him extra blood. Yeah, give him a bit of torture. That is horrendous.
Well, I'm glad that I'm hoping, in fact, that
they sorted out.
Well, no, because this is it. The couple have taken legal action, but it doesn't mention.
Where's that guy
it doesn't mention if they have been reunited. Do you know what I mean? So, like I say, I'm hoping that this has come to a better conclusion, and it's ended up where they've been reunited with a kid. But obviously, if he sold it, then there's a whole legal dispute there. Well, it's like, I mean, I bought it.
The doctor's in trouble.
Well, the doctor's in trouble, but I mean, the person who bought it is probably going to be in trouble.
Well, it depends on the circumstances on that.
Again, it's all going to come out in court, isn't it? So I think we'll keep an eye on this one. This one's a bit of a weird one. Anything else you've seen? I've got a story about Johnny Rotten getting flea bites.
Johnny Rotten getting flea bites?
Apparently, because he's keeping squirrels in his house.
Oh, see, he needs to watch out for the plague as well on that front.
Oh, mate, do you know what I mean? But iconic punk singer Johnny Rotten's been basically cohabiting with fucking squirrels. Apparently, he's been getting like bites in the inner thigh and groin. The report
he's not in a squirrel farm.
He's not in a squirrel farmer. There you go. You heard it here first.
You did.
So, anything going on in the world that you want to talk about?
That's just crazy, that. Let's have a look. We have...
Go on.
Yeah, you've put me off balance, mate.
I'm free off your stride now, am I? Here's one.
Oh,
go on.
Delivery driver successfully did what the customer wanted him to do, as in throwing tea over ex-boyfriend's watch, expensive watch.
Oh, just on his watch?
Yeah, just like,
not in his face.
There you go.
Yeah, because I did see this. I saw the headline to this, and I was like, that is just going to be like, can you ring up an Uber Revenge now, where it's like you can ring up a guy and say, yeah, you can deliver him a Big Mac, but spit in it first.
Yeah, you know what? I could see
coming soon from Uber Revenge.
Yeah,
get your revenge while it's hot.
If people are going to pay, people are going to do it, aren't they? You know what I mean? Would you pay for someone to?
We'll run you over for an extra
it's
$5.
You, but someone else does it for
you. Yeah, I love that.
Piss on my mate's shoe.
Nah, I think there'll be a lot more fucking automotive manslaughter. Or like vehicular manslaughter is going down there with like Uber Revenge coming soon from Uber.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the world's their oyster.
Hey,
you know
Donald would be right on the phone to them when he'd be like, first of all, I want to get revenge on Twitter.
Oh,
I want to get revenge on my impeachment people. Well, no, I want to talk about him in the sense that he was fooled into taking a prank, fooled by talk. He was fooled into talking to a prankster pretending to be Piers Morgan.
Oh, what a mug.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck.
So, apparently, the former president was duped while travelling on Air Force One into taking a call from his buddy, Piers Morgan. A prankster pretending to be Piers managed to fool Donald Trump into thinking he was speaking to the real TV presenter. It happened in October whilst the former president was appearing...
for the elections.
Yeah, well, no, he was basically on Air Force One. Travelling about or whatever. Mr. Trump, who left the White House for his final time earlier this week, or that week, this is in the story, innit? Basically revealed that he'd been scammed when he rang the genuine Morgan the following day whilst he was on his way to Florida. So, God knows.
Is there a recording out there?
Well, this is what I want to know because, God knows what.
If anyone knows, tell us.
He got out of him.
And we put it on our site.
Honestly, seriously.
That'd be brilliant if
Morgan told the BBC that it was a hilarious story, adding that somebody called him pretending to be me the day before, and I got through to Air Force One. They had what's this? Convinced Trump to thinking they were talking to him. So basically, this guy's just rang up and just basically blagged it and said, "Hi, it's Piers," or whatever.
That's brilliant. I love it. I love it. Oh man, I mean, there was a time in the 90s when there was a lot of that kind of stuff going on, and I liked it then, but a lot more sinister now, people, if they did that kind of stuff.
Like I say, if there is a recording out there, I'd be fucking amazing to hear it, because God knows what information they got out of him, because there are recordings recently of him, trying to bully, governors to get extra votes, or telling them that how many votes he needed and stuff like that, when he didn't know he was being recorded. Rudy Giuliani, the same. So, I reckon there'll be loads of recordings coming out soon.
Oh, I reckon.
Now the water's cleared. It's like, now I can't be impeached anymore. I've been impeached twice.
When he comes back to be the president again, that'll be the time that someone will let it loose. I reckon. I reckon someone in the Democrats has got hold of it,
and then they'll go right here.
We'll use it later on.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And then say at the time, "Oh, that was only last week."
You were talking actually about what was it, Uber a minute ago. We don't have DoorDash, I don't think, but DoorDash is pretty big in the States.
DoorDash?
Yeah, DoorDash? It's like, drop your food.
Knock on the door, drop the shit, fuck off.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So apparently...
but if you've got it wrong, that's what... So no customer service, you're leaving the customer service out of it now then.
We give you...
you're just dropping and going.
DoorDash.
Yeah. Nah, it sounds shit, that. Nah, don't want that.
Well, you don't know. It might be really good.
Right.
Well, I don't know.
I open it up and someone's bit into me sandwich. I go, hold on, who do I complain to now? And you'll have to come back in about fucking 20
anyway,
minutes.
Right. They gave away some money in a charity donation, right? $1 million, right?
Whoa, nice.
Nice, yeah. But they spent $5.5 million advertising that they did it.
What the...
Where's the sense in that?
Because they must know that the advertising expense, they will probably get it tenfold.
Well, they've said no one's ever seen more blatant popularization of marketing for a charitable effort. Do you know what I mean? They've literally gone to town. They've actually employed the Muppets, so they've got ads up with fucking Grover and Big Bird and all sorts. They've spent an absolute fortune just to tell people that they're mint enough to, give $1 million away.
Yeah, that's.
We're talking about it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah.
Was it shrewd, or was it a bit kind of pointless?
I think why not give? They're going to make more money out of it.
Why not give the 5.5 to charity and spend the $1 million on marketing?
Because it cost a lot more than $1 million for what they wanted.
What they wanted, exactly. I got this other food delivery story, actually. A snake was found in someone's order.
No.
Yeah. A woman, the woman refused to pick up her order until the snake was removed.
Fucking doubt. I want a new order.
I want a new order. Yeah, what are you doing?
That snake could have piss, shit, whatever, all over me stuff. Why am I going to fucking eat that now?
Well, the woman in Arizona, US, was recently shocked to find that her Uber Eats driver order basically had a snake, a venomous western diamondback rattlesnake.
Oh, no, you don't want one of them. Oh, yeah. Shit, she's a lucky girl then not to just put her hand in.
The diamondback rattlesnake's found in southwest United States near Mexico, and is responsible for the majority of snake bites in the region. They are one of the more aggressive rattlesnake species in the US, so, very lucky. This is the thing about him.
Must have been sneaky to
well,
get
the thing
the
is about these kind of reptiles and snakes and stuff like that. It's like they're drawn to the heat. So if you've got, it's cold night and you've got a hot meal that's just sat on your doorstep, and you could be there for 5 minutes, while you're,
it's like
ready to collect, or you've ordered it ready for when you get home, and it's there and it's sat on your doorstep.
Yeah,
you don't know. It's like it's just attracted to the warmth. So
that's true, and that's another bad idea to have drop the shit and go. You know what I mean? You want the customer service. You want.
Oh yeah, it's totally. I mean, it's totally unsocial, isn't it? It's antisocial as fuck. You mean? I never see my driver. He's gone.
Yeah,
he leaves me food, and he's like the wind off on another adventure.
I could be giving him a tip. You know what I mean?
You don't want a tip. Well, you do it over the app. Give him a tip.
Well, yeah, but you might well go, fuck that. Yeah, mate, I know they're going to skim you off that, or they're going to tax it.
He's probably eating about 5 of me chips anyway, so, it's like, I'm not
never
being
brings
funny.
you drink.
He fucking don't even go there, mate, because my drink, I end up throwing my bloody drink at the last delivery driver I came round. He was like, half the drink was in the burger.
Yeah.
So, don't even get me going, sunshine. Anything else that you've seen in this wide world? That I've found a few more bits, but we're pressing for time anyway. But
it's back.
The
noise is back. This boom boom loud noise is
boom 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 boom.
Coming back.
I want you in my room.
Hit Florida.
Mystery booms.
Yes.
What do you think these are? Because I would say, going back to the Talashima Hole, about drilling operations, right?
But that's even more dangerous than if...
I think that there's a lot of drilling going on underneath the ground, and that's what that booming is.
I think it's more than that. I think it's more than just the drilling, because...
So what's the story? What's going on? Because you're saying in Florida, is it just a mystery boom happened in Florida?
Yeah, well, for this week it has, but I've over the past couple of months, I've been hearing more and more.
I have actually. I've seen a few. I've seen a few that where it's been like major booms happening in
quiet for a little while,
randomly.
But then it started up again. I mean, there wasn't a lot of coverage from about October, November, and then all of a sudden December the 4th it starts again. And it's a weird thing, and the longer it goes on, the longer we're not understanding, the longer the danger could be there, to be honest, because we don't know exactly what it is. It could be a part of the environment that we haven't noticed before, but we need to know. It could be a part of climate change for all we know.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
you know what I mean? So we do need to...
We need to investigate
it more.
Yeah, definitely, because, I mean, there's no point in just going, oh, yeah, man, there was this big loud noise. What was it? We don't know. And it's we do need to investigate if it's something that's kind of causing people a bit of concern, that obviously enough to make them think that there's a bomb going off or something. Do you know that they're fleeing the houses to see and looking up in the sky to see what's going on? But I don't think they're coming from up in the sky. I think it's just a sound wave.
Painting and decorating the inside.
No, I think it's a sound. Yeah, it's a sound wave that the sonic boom, if you like. Do you know what I mean?
The crystal,
but
the sound wave.
Well, like you say, I mean, it's like why would?
Well, it definitely wasn't.
It makes me think that it's government drilling, and why are you drilling underground bunkers, bases? I mean, I understand that keeping secrets. Satellites are everywhere these days, so it's really difficult to keep your secret. So
Yeah, but
Are
now...
they just putting bases everywhere? I don't...
Why now?
There's something going on.
Why now to make the noise now? If they've been doing
No, it's always in stages, isn't it? It's like it'll happen for a while and then it'll stop.
Yeah, but they've done it before. But there was none of this kind of noise in
there's always been
century. But this century seems to...
I suppose in this century, yeah.
It started, so on that point, it was... the experts are saying it definitely wasn't an earthquake. It wasn't a storm. There is... they don't know actually which area it is either. They don't know.
That's the thing about it, because it's, I reckon, like I say, they don't know what area it's from because it's happening underground, and this shockwave or sound wave is erupting to a point where you can hear it, and it's like off into the distance. I don't know. Go for it.
I've got a scary idea of the magnetic shielding because. Like over the last 5 years, been watching a group that have been looking at our satellites, the NASA satellites that are looking at, our solar system, the sun, and stuff like that. And to me, it like all last year, I would have said, and the end of 2019, there was a big thing of our shielding was coming back, so it was closer to Earth. It was that close that even our satellites that are 250 miles up went past it. So it was, and there was some kind of funny
wave. Confused me a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, because I've not seen this documentary, I don't know what you're
it's not
cracking on
documentary.
about.
Basically, it's satellite imaging of what's going on our planet, and
magnetic poles.
It shows.
With you saying shielding and stuff. Right, okay, go for it, yeah.
So it shows our magnetic shielding, but what it's been showing since the last couple of years, that it's been getting weaker. And at the same time, behind us, they find it's not going straight. There's something behind the Earth, and it seems to mess about with the waves.
It's all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah, it's all kind of scientific, but there's been no conclusion over it either.
Right. Okay.
So that I think that could be an aspect of what this booming could be.
Right. You've just blown my final story way, kind of like you've just gone super deep, and my last story, is just daft. But I do agree that there is a lot going on with these booms. Yeah, right.
Yeah. We need to investigate a lot
more. So this last story I'm going to do. Fucking hell. Have you got any NASA news this week, by the way? I've got one or two bits, but like this last story going in from the news is so the last couple of years the name Karen has got a bit of a bad rep. Yeah, fucking Karens. Right. Apologise if you call Karens. Don't know. It's fucking like I don't know. It's bad for Karens.
So if you're a Karen, watch out.
They've even made a Karen Halloween mask. Yeah.
Oh no.
So it's just an angry-faced woman with long hair. Yeah. Right.
Oh, so they're saying they're angry.
So they're saying a Karen is typically a middle-aged woman, typically blonde, basically is just an inconvenience to others. Just a thinking.
Just an ass.
Well, this is it now. There's a support group, right?
Are you joking? A support group
in the Grand Rapids for people named Karen.
So they got an issue then. I've got an issue.
Hey, the thing is saying I'm pissed off with being labelled as a Karen. You know what I mean? It was bad enough I was born a Karen, and then now everyone kind of associates these traits.
Yeah.
As me, I'm not a Karen.
Well, we are sorry.
I was born to be a Barbara. What?
Yeah, we are sorry to them Karens who are out there, but it's news.
Well, there is a group now, so most common phrase that comes out of a Karen's mouth is "Let me speak to your manager." Yeah. Right. And he's usually has a haircut that resembles Kate Gosling from her Kate plus 8 days, if that makes sense.
No, not to me.
That doesn't make sense to me.
But I haven't seen the film.
I just thought Karens do need this. Yeah, right. I have met a couple of Karens in my life.
I think a lot of names need it, but There's no groups as far as I'm aware.
A couple of Lees, Lee Taylor's Taylor group. It'd be a great
Taylor group, yeah. Well, we're all fantastic. We don't need it.
We don't need it.
It's like, we all got big heads.
Anyway.
We don't need it. We're brave enough.
So, NASA news, bit sparse this week. Because obviously, there's a lot happened over the last week, right?
Yeah.
In terms of NASA and SpaceX. Yeah. There's been a lot of launches. It is the 14th, like I say, so there is a double launch today, if it's not already been, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah. It's double feature rocket launch, which is basically Progress 77, SpaceX and Progress 77. If you're looking for some romantic entertainment for Valentine's Day, you can enjoy 2 separate rocket launches tonight, a SpaceX Starlink mission using a Falcon 9 International Space, heading towards the International Space Station for a resupply mission, and the Russian Progress 77 craft, which is carried by the Soyuz rocket.
Yeah, good old Soyuz.
So that's happening today. Anything you've seen this week?
The AEU are happy. They're on schedule to get to Mars. They're happy for... they should be landing within the next week, I'd imagine. And China's probe that's gone to the back end of the moon is making some... sending back more pictures and more details of the areas and that, and... things are looking nice. I haven't spotted no UFOs or aliens
talking
yet.
about Mars, NASA's Perseverance Mars rover. That's about to due to land this week.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's going to be definitely must-see TV. NASA's got less than a week away from landing a shiny new robot on the surface of Mars for the first time in fucking ages. So they'll be able, we will be able to see and hear what it's like to touch down on another world, because it's going to all be all singing, all dancing digital, innit?
That's if it makes it.
Oh, you pessimist.
I'm just saying now because of...
It's called Perseverance, lad.
Well, yeah, and hopefully it will do the same as a lot of the other ones. But there has been, little bit disasters over the years on sending probes to Mars. So hopefully we've got another set of eyes and definitely equipment on there.
Well, it's covered and carrying many audio, visual gear, plenty of that sort of stuff.
I'm looking forward to the helicopter.
Oh, I know, it's got a drone on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I hope it does. I hope they're successful with that, because if it is and it works out, calculations will work out right, that they can send a lot more in there and we can go in and get a lot more details.
Yeah. Well, apparently as well, another thing that was happening is an asteroid was due to pass by. So another little Valentine's Day thing that as well. Do you know, if you wanted to look up at the night sky with your sweetheart, I named
that after you, love.
Well, it's revealed that it's basically happening today. Valentine's Day will involve a remarkably close encounter.
Look up into them stars.
They never tell you till it's too late, do they? It's like,
well, they never will. They hated us, and they wouldn't tell us.
So,
you know what I mean?
Any other space news you've seen?
No, I think that's it for space from my end.
Well, apparently another little news story that was talking about the space rover, the Perseverance rover, saying that it faces a 7 minutes of terror before landing. So is that just to do with the atmosphere, I take it?
Yeah, it's down to do with the calculations of how it's going to land, because they're going to have, depending on how the system on how they're going to use it. I don't think I've seen what system they've used, because on one of them they used the ball where they bounced it and then it collapsed it open, and then everything was fine. There was a little bit of issues at the beginning, but they sorted all that out. And then you had
saying
one of the other ones.
The success on the landing will hinge on a complex sequence of events unfolding without a hitch, from the inflation of a giant supersonic parachute to the deployment of jet-powered sky cranes, all to deploy it perfectly. I reckon they'll do it. They're getting good at all this stuff remote.
Well, they seem to have worked the last time with that, and it seems to be a cheaper and a better option The only thing I've got a problem with it is that it leaves the second rocket behind, because what it does is when it gets closer to the planet, it cranes lets the machine down, and then as it puts on its it drops lower, and as it's getting lower and lower, it's putting on its engines, so it slows it right down, lets go with the device, and then flies off and hits somewhere else a couple of miles away. That's my only problem, that it leaves the item behind.
Right, okay. One last story. Mm-hmm. So the United Arab Emirates, they've got a Hope probe.
Yeah,
that's out there. It sent back the first images of Mars capturing the largest volcano in the solar system.
Yeah, it's massive,
and it's beat China and NASA to the planet.
Sweet. Where, Mars?
Yeah. So, like, they obviously, then the probe has. So, obviously, in this new space race,
there's three of them
getting up there, obviously they've got quite close as of yet, but it's already sending images back, and these images show the largest volcanoes in the solar system. Olympus Mon, Olympus Mons, after the Starcraft beat NASA and China to Mars. Some really stunning photographs. I'll see if I can get them up somewhere. But yeah, they're brilliant. Anything else before we move on?
No, I'm happy to move on.
Oh, it's all good then, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Well, that's coming to the end of the show pretty much. It's been quite a short one this week. It does feel like a lot longer, but it's just like time flies when you're having fun, isn't it?
Oh, well, here we go. I've got one here for you. A pack of dyed blue dogs have been spotted in Russia on vinyl. It's all over
a pack of wild dogs have been spotted in Russia on vinyl. Well, no, it sounds as it's a rock band.
Yeah. No,
available on vinyl,
on YouTube
and CD and YouTube. Go on.
And,
so this isn't
LP.
This is a new species of dogs, yeah?
Yeah, they believe so. Yeah, it looks,
I did see this story.
That way. Either that, or someone's got a load of wild dogs and just gone, let's paint you blue.
I actually watched something the other day, and they were like doing something like that, and and one of these dogs was painted, and I just was like, you shouldn't paint your animal. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, fair enough, it's a costume contest or whatever, but you painting your dog, it's a bit.
I think
dog doesn't want to be painted.
Too vain now. He's getting ridiculous.
So they're saying that this could be a new species of canine that's evolved in the wild.
Yeah, but I can't. Blue is. It's a funny colour, you know what I mean?
No, because these staffies are blue staffies. You can get bluey grey staffs.
Yeah, but this is blue. You know what I mean? This is like...
How blue? Like cobalt blue, or, like royal blue?
Royal blue.
Seriously?
Yeah. I mean...
I'm blue, doggy, do.
Proper blue doggy. Yeah,
I'm not sure about that.
Hell? But not just one, a pack of them, so...
So they've obviously been breeding out in the wild then.
Yeah,
or been spray painting dogs.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Which is fun if you use the right
do me a favour, send me that story over, because I want to see these blue dogs.
Yeah,
I will. Nice one. Well, like I say, that's that. I think we've got a featured podcast this week. We played them last week. They were really cool. I saw them on Linden Street, which is a film podcast dedicated to all things film, cult films, exploration of the oldies, beloved classics, and all points in between. It's hosted by Chris Roberts, and he invites you to listen and join in and discuss movie magic. It's actually recorded in Linden Street Cinema or Theatre. We've got a promo here. It is.
Yeah.
Do you love movies? I certainly do. Hi, Chris Roberts here, inviting you to listen to I Saw It on Linden Street, our weekly podcast dedicated to the joy of finding an appreciation in cult films, exploitation oddities, beloved classics, and all points in between. Join us for an informative deep dive into a film that we feel needs to be recognized, with background thrown in on actors, directors, and hey, if I'm doing my job right, you'll get a funny story out of me. So, join us here at I Saw It on Linden Street and listen today. Remember, folks, life's too short not to live in the past. Take it easy.
Thank you very much. Yeah, make sure you go out and check out Chris's podcast. I Saw It on Linden Street.
Definitely.
Moving on, we've guys come very near the end of the show. We've got some shout-outs. As usual, we want to give a big round of applause and a big shout-out to all our Patreons. We couldn't do it without you. You can become a Patreon too and get a shout-out at the end of the show by going to www.patreon.com/neverstraightanswer or buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/NASApod. Hey, we do appreciate the support now more than ever. If you can help us out or you want to contribute to help us make the show even better, you know what to do. Get over there and support us. Those who did, a big shout out to Big J.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Dunk Dunk. Big shout out to the original Big Papa, Tiny Elvis. He is swoosh.
Yes, swooshy whoosh, yeah.
Thank you to everyone who played the Chain Connection game last week. Taylor, I do believe you've got another clue.
I do, indeed I do. And the final clue is... It is about 250 miles across.
And he's not talking about his ego.
No, that's bigger.
Or his shoe size. Well, There you go. Well, it's over how many miles across?
250 miles across.
Okay,
so
well.
It's no small fry.
It's not a small fry. Well, thanks. Thank you. Well, thank you, Taylor, for listening. What did you think of the show this week? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I
tried to keep a lot of it a secret for him this week because I knew he'd like a lot of it, so I was trying to surprise him. Did I surprise you? Did you enjoy it?
I was a bit itchy, and there was a load. I do like the idea of the connections to other projects that have gone on over the years, and at different time, and the time level the same as well of like the most famous picture of the TR3B.
Yeah, and it kind of all happened around the same time period.
Yeah, it does give an extra.
Could it all be connected? Could it be that
possibly
there's something more bizarre going on in human history than we were led to believe?
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, thank you. Thank you for listening and making it this far. That's the end of the show. If you want to get in touch or you have any questions or comments or suggestions, you can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com or neverstraightanswerpodcast@gmail.com. Over on Twitter at NASA_never. Over on Instagram at neverstraightanswer. We're available on most podcast platforms. So wherever you choose to get your podcast from, just search for us and you'll be able to subscribe there. We're also available on YouTube where we put out extra content, bits and pieces on there, so make sure you subscribe. And that's it. That's the show. So we'll leave you there for another week, and make sure you come back again and see us, and we'll have another interesting discussion for you. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
We've been the Never a Straight Answer podcast. Peace.